Now, take back what's yours. In today's gardening segment, Mark Cullen shows us solutions for reclaiming ground lost to steep hills and banks. Well, many of our viewers live in urban settings in large cities, and that's got some challenges if you're a gardener or even if you're just trying to grow grass or something like that. And one of the challenges is the hilly front yard.
That's true. And you know, it reminds me of middle-aged men. What do they say? Number one enemy is gravity. Now, if you understand something about gravity, Jeff, you should, then you'll know that if you work with Mother Nature, you can create really something quite beautiful. What you have here is a lawn that's struggling in a sandy-based soil, and if you're not going to engineer a solution, which we're going to talk about in a moment, then plant plants that will hold that moisture, hold the soil there, and don't require constant moisture.
And really, I mean, maybe a lot of people don't realize, but it's the roots of these plants that hold the soil in place, that prevent it from coming down.
You know what this is? This is a staghorn sumac, and we've got a viewer right now saying, I can't believe Mark is recommending a staghorn sumac. It's a native plant. It's very aggressive, and they actually grow this on the Scarborough Bluffs. Do you know what that slope looks like?
Absolutely.
So they do that because to prevent soil erosion, not to prevent it entirely, but to slow it down and to help manage it. So
this is a there's a very vigorous rooting system, but at the end of the day, it helps you.
The roots do the wave all the time.
So what if you don't want that?
Well, if you don't want that, try something a little tamer, and this is called a cotoneaster, or some people when they read it, cotton Easter, because that's what it looks like, when you read it. But this is a family of plants, and I've only brought this one variety, which happens to be in bloom, that you can plant on a slope like this en masse, and you would plant them about 30 centimeters apart from center to center, so a little over a foot, foot and a half maybe apart, Jeff. And it wouldn't take long for it to completely fill in that bank, and you would have a gorgeous looking garden.
Now we're seeing this kind of black hose, which is running between, and we only have it here to show you how you would lay it out. But the purpose of this hose is what?
It's a bleeding hose, and you can see how it's oozing water, right? So you get all of your plants in the ground. You still have a problem with a slope while they get the root down. You put the hose, the soaker hose, which is a fabric synthetic material, weave it across the slope like I have here, and then bury it under generous quantities of ground up cedar bark mulch.
And then that's going to keep all that wet, which is in turn going to keep what you've planted moist.
And in place.
And in place.
Right.
Beautiful. Okay, so you've got that. That's actually, putting that mulch over is something people might not think of. Or you can go this way too, which a lot of people do, right? I mean, and you can, boy, this one's a thing of beauty here. Someone spent a lot of money.
Well, they spent a lot of money, there's been a lot of work, it's a big investment, but they solved the problem, and they basically engineered the problem away, versus what you and I have just done. We didn't engineer it to the same degree. What we did was we used Mother Nature, we used plant material that's aggressive to solve the problem. Of what to do with a steep slope in the city or in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we should come back here in a year.
We should.
And see what this looks like.
We should. Well, you're going to have to finish the planting then.
I think it's going to look like what it looks like now. Mark Cullen.
I think so too.
You'll find more slope gardening tips from Mark in his blog. That's at canadaam.ctvnews.ca.